Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and another impromptu live stream. Hopefully, you guys are tuning in for this. Really counting on your Q&As today, but I really just wanted to talk to you guys today, just to do a live stream. Sometimes I'm in the mood, sometimes I'm not. Today, I was out in the garage, and I said, you know what? Let's do a live stream today. So hopefully, you guys can tune in. And of course, if you're tuning in, put your questions in the chat and either myself or someone else will hopefully give you an answer to those questions. Comments are welcome. If you're watching this after the fact, of course, put your comments down below and questions down below, comments down below. I try to get back to you. I can't always, because as the channel grows, we get a lot more people commenting and questioning, but it'll pop up on my phone, and sometimes I'll stop what I'm doing and I will try to comment or answer. But no matter how you're watching, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Just hit it once. You'll need to hit it a bunch of times. Just hit it one time. And if we can get enough people just watching this, just hitting the like button, it does help the channel, and I certainly appreciate it. Just to say a few things, let me just say this. Kevin Hawthorne, he's always watching this program. He sends me some cool emails and things like that. So, hey, Kevin, you're probably the biggest fan of this show, and I certainly appreciate you tuning in almost all the time. So thank you for that. We got One Man Show. Hello there. How you doing? Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at. The Disgruntled Octopus, morning. How you doing? Or it could be morning wherever you're at too. Taking it, you're probably in the Outback, if I'm not mistaken. Jess, hey, how you doing? Thank you for hanging out. We have Sean from London. Love your vids, man. Very helpful. Literally seen them all from your first up till now. My first one was probably the worst one. Well, I can't say that. I have another one where I went golfing with a buddy, and that had the least. I think I'm still trying to get 100 views on that one, but it was talking about the importance of taking time away, and I guess not too many people related to that, so didn't get a whole lot of views. But if you watch that, hey, awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We have Wanda Greer. How you doing? Thank you. And she's another one that's always hanging out with us on these lives. So thank you. Lee Hayes one. Cheers. How are you? Another guy who's always here is Tommy. So Tommy, the Bernhard podcast. Check his program out. He has a podcast. They cover a lot of different topics. So check him out. Also, SMP postcards are in the house. A couple more here. We got Soul Steps from Kent, UK. We got Archie Biscuit Butt in the house. He's gracing us with his presence, so that's awesome. And so just wanted to make this live stream because I think there's a misconception, or at least from some. My last video I made about the 2% increase, or the increase by 1% to 2% minimum requirement on the promoted listing standard. And the whole purpose of that was to give you guys an update. There's some accounts, like my secondary account, which I don't use promoted listings on those collectibles. I'm getting good sales without using promoted. I didn't get an email, and I figured there's some of you that may use promoted or may not, or may have planned to use promoted. And if I didn't get an email or a message from eBay on that account, chances are you didn't either. So I thought it was important to share that with you. But of course, in sharing it with you, of course, I like to tell you what I think about it. I mean, if I just say, here's what it is, and it doesn't matter what I think, you guys are going to ask me, what do you think about it? So I'm always giving you my opinion. And sometimes I can get on here and it can sound like I'm just a whiny baby crying about it, but it's just that I'm passionate about eBay. I'm passionate about how I feel about certain topics. And when it comes to this, there's a lot of people that are thinking that I'm upset about a 1% fee. No, I mean, eBay's been feeing us to death. I'm still here. I'm still selling on eBay, and I'm still promoting eBay. At least I'm trying to. As hard as eBay's making it, I still try to promote eBay as much as I can. The thing that I was trying to relay is not the 1% was disappointing me. It's this mentality that eBay has, and they even came out and said it months ago, that they're going to start focusing on the larger accounts, and the smaller accounts, they don't really, and that's without even going into the exact verbiage. But that's what the takeaway was from what they said. And it's this mentality that they can nickel and dime their way out of their own problems, their mismanagement of their company on the back of the sellers. And then while they're doing it, they are trying to sugarcoat it to make us feel great about all these fee increases. And it's what they're saying that's just putting me off. And, to say that, we're going to be more competitive at 2% versus 1%. Well, you know what? In theory, if you weren't upping the percentage rate, yeah, I guess 2% is more competitive than 1%, but you're moving the bar higher. So not only does it affect the folks that are hanging down on the low level of promoted listings, if you're over there at the suggested rate, or let's say you're at 5%, now the bottom is getting closer to you. And at some point, we're going to all be at 5, 6, 7%. And at what point does the average seller that just says, it's 1%, at what point do they go, what, enough is enough? Why don't you just make the fees 20% and be done with it? And we're all on an even playing field. So that's kind of how I feel. And it's just the eBay speak that kind of bothers me, in that they just try to make us, and it just blowing smoke, and it just doesn't even make sense. You're putting more improvements on the site to help the selling experience. We're still waiting for the ones that you've promised us. But I think people look at that video and don't see the bigger message. And that's what I was trying to portray. So want to get your thoughts on that. I had a lot of your thoughts on the video that I put out yesterday. And, a lot of times I'll put out these videos because I want to not only educate and let you guys know. Sometimes you don't even have time. A lot of you guys are working 9 to 5 and doing this part-time. You don't have time to go through all your messages. And it's important, because if you don't know this, eBay is going to ghost your listings come the 11th of July. And you're going to be sitting there with 1%. And you're going to wonder, wow, my sales were bad. They're even worse now. And that's because your items aren't going to be promoted anymore unless you're at 2% by the 11th of July. So that's what I wanted to kind of tell you on that front. Also wanted to remind everyone that this coming Monday, the 20th, is USPS is going to be closed. So there's not going to be a mail pickup. They're not going to be open. And I would think that eBay would have this set up to where they're not expecting this to ship packages out on Monday. And that's because of Juneteenth. It's on the 20th. And so just wanted to let you guys know that, so that, you're expecting your carrier to show up and pick up your stuff, and they don't show up. And then you have to drive all the way out there to find out they're closed. So you get a reprieve from shipping on the 20th. That's this coming Monday. Let's see. What do we got here? Who else do we have in the house? We have C. Lewis. C. Lewis is saying to promote or not to promote. Promote. You still want to play eBay's game. eBay is rewarding you with views if you promote. It's like, I think if you don't promote, I think out of every search, it's like 1 out of 3 you may appear if you're unpromoted. You have a higher chance of not only appearing, but appearing higher in search when you're promoted. And that's just the way it is. Now, if you have someone that's searching for your unique item, you're not up against a lot of competition, then you're going to come up in search more often, because eBay doesn't have to divvy the search results up with all these millions of people. You might have a unique item like the patches I sell and patches Archie sells just as collectibles. We don't use promoted because there's really not a need. Someone's looking for that specific item from, Vietnam War or World War II. If we have it, they're going to find it without that promoted listing. So it's really a lot depending on what you're selling and your competition. So do a quick search, let's say on one of your items, see how many listings pop up. And that'll give you an idea of what your current competition is for that particular item. Let's see. The Bling Bling Factor Australia. Hi, John. Morning from Australia. Great to finally catch the live. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad I decided to do this. Again, a lot of times I'll just do these last minute lives. So that's why it's important. If you want to be notified, and instead of watching it after the fact, hit that notification bell so that you can be a part of this discussion. Wanda Greer, your passion is why I watch you. And you know what? It's funny because when I'm into something, I can get really passionate about things, and sometimes it gets misconstrued that I'm just a whiner or this, that, and other thing. And it's really not. It's just that I really feel strongly about something. And, it's my opinion. And there's a very good chance my opinion is going to be wrong. But I use this forum to share that opinion with you guys. And it gives me also a chance to get your ideas on the subjects. And maybe it'll convince me otherwise. There's been times where I've come out here and said, here's how I feel about a certain subject. You guys have said, well, here's how I really feel. And this is why I feel that way. And I really think about it. And sometimes I'll even change the way I feel. Maybe it'll kind of temper me down and make me understand the other side of the coin. So it's kind of a give and take kind of thing, this channel. And I'm glad that you guys are here with me. Otherwise, reselling is like you're working sometimes on your own island. And without having these kind of forums and awesome people like you to bounce ideas off of, sometimes it would be just me talking to myself, or in my garage. And you guys don't want to know about that, because I'm sure it would be a mess if I didn't have an outlet like this. Links Gems, you tell it how it is. That's why your channel is growing. Always enjoy your content. Thank you. Sometimes I tell it how it is, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. But one thing I've learned is that you can't make people you can't make people think the way you do. You can't make people happy all the time. Sometimes people are looking for certain kind of content, and I'm just not the kind of person that's going to try to cater to everyone. I'm just going to be myself, and if that helps the channel grow, then awesome. We have one busy mama to you. Hi, John and everyone. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Biscuit Butt says, I get that it's eBay's playground and we could choose to play in it, but admission is getting too high and I may have to play in that dog park soon. And you may not be tall enough for some of the rides, Archie. So got to consider that as well. I always toy with Archie. We talk pretty much on a daily about the different lots that we are looking at maybe going in on. And we have a couple in the works right now, or at least one in the works right now. And so he's definitely a huge part of my eBay experience. So thanks, Archie, for hanging out with us today. Yaz A is exactly bigger sales, focus on eBay, focus on reselling. And I say that in, a lot of the theme. I know that I did the sponsorship with Prime Lister. But again, I've passed up about 5 different sponsorships so far because they just didn't mesh with the audience. And if I didn't believe, they, of course, whenever you're dealing with a potential sponsorship, they give you a chance to try out the product. And if I didn't really feel, if I wasn't using it myself, and I have a little thing that I'm doing right now with Prime Lister, in that the daily routine that I have is, if I have listings that are about to recycle over to that fixed price the next 30 days, I'll go in and do the drop down, right click on sell similar, then go down and end early, do all that stuff, change the listing, tweak the title, maybe change the order of my photos, go in, change the price because they're not buying it. So I have room to work with. So I'll lower the price. And then when I'm done with that, I'll go back into the ones I just did. And then I'll go in with the Prime Lister tool and I'll do the cross listing thing. I've been doing that. And it's taken about, I'd say I do about 10 to 15 a day. And it takes about a half an hour because I go in there and tweak the listings that are on Mercari. And I have a few Poshmark listings I've been sending over. And so that's kind of my new routine. And it's really, to me, it's about just trying to get as many eyes on my product and at a good price. And the stuff's going to move. We're dealing with a bad economy. They just hiked up interest rates. And, we had a lot of debate on the chat from the last video about, it's going to pass, and it may. And I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to be doom and gloom. But guys, it just, there's too many signs that are happening. You guys are seeing it in your own accounts and your slow sales. And I only hope that things get corrected sooner than later, but it's just not looking great. And as resellers, we need to be in tune with what's going on with us in at least the economic world, because that affects you directly. When things are going great, you're going to get great sales. You kind of take, I think we all kind of take that for granted when things are going great. When things are going bad, I think sometimes we tend to not either want to look at it or just kind of ignore it. And it does affect what you're doing. You can work your butt off and you're going to get fewer sales when there's a bad economy. That's just a fact. We have Gail Carlson. Hello from Missouri, Mizzou. So thank you for hanging out with us today. We have BG Sims. I checked my traffic just before I signed on. My promoted listing was only 20% of my sales, and all the rest was organic. And those reports are really important because they tell you a story. They tell you, what type of, it sounds to me, if I was to just look at those numbers, that it sounds to me you're probably selling more on the collectible side, where people are looking for specific items and you're not up against maybe a high competition. I may be wrong, but I would say that based on those numbers, that's kind of what it's telling me. I have almost all of my listings on my main account promoted, and because of that, most of my sales do come from promoted. Juan agrees with me. I've said a lot of things, so I don't know what you quite agree with, but thank you. I appreciate you agreeing with me. What percent do you use? Now, I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else, but I would use I was using 1%. I went to 2%. And then on the items that I would sell similar on, after it does that 30-day period, I would do the recommended percentage. I'm wondering if, how eBay, they put all these things in your summary. They want you to do this, that, the other thing. They want you to fix all your item specifics. They want you to do all this stuff. And I wonder if you just play by what they're suggesting, what that would do. If you fixed all your item specifics that are sitting there waiting for, for you to add NA on a few of them or whatever. And if you just cleared your summary, and mine's bad, I'd let it go for a while. I wonder if that in itself would help. I mean, I'm just looking for different things to do to help. Now, some of you are killing it. Some of you are not affected by this slowdown, and it's because of a number of factors. And I've talked about it before. Your sourcing is probably spot on. You have a consistent level of sourcing. You get good rates as compared to what you sell it for. And for the rest of us, it's a challenge. For me, it's a challenge. I'm about halfway through the stuff that I've sourced a couple months ago. That's how much stuff that I actually had out of those lots. And for me, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to be looking for more sourcing pretty soon. And that's the thing that I know is important. And I'm just worried that if I don't find good places to source, everything's going up in price. What is that going to do to my business? So I guess time will tell on that. No One Designed Too. Hey, John, how's it going over there in Sin City? It's hot. And I'm out in my garage. I got my fan blowing. I throw the TV, I have a little TV on that I have hooked up to YouTube. So I let videos play while I'm working or I'll just throw the music on. But after a while, it's like, man, I need to get inside. So pretty soon I have my little makeshift, smaller photo area, and I'm going to start utilizing that more often because I'd rather be inside this air-conditioned house than out in the garage any day, especially in Vegas, that's for sure. One busy mama to use the strategy now is clean house reviewing current listings for mistakes. Found one with fellow instead of yellow, and my husband said he was glad he didn't get it sold. It's shipped out. You know what? When you piggyback off of listings, sell similar, you will be surprised the amount of mistakes in the item specifics, and sometimes even the category that I don't know how they sold the item to begin with in the wrong category, but you're piggybacking off of that listing and you're now in the wrong category. And if you ever noticed, when you are creating a listing that's piggybacking off of like using the sell similar, you'll see that there's a bunch of item specifics down in the bottom and it'll say remove. That is because at some point, someone filled out item specifics and changed the category and kept item specifics in there from the other category. It was asking all these category questions, and it just stays in the listing if you fill it out. And I'll go in and usually remove those and clear out the the old bad item specifics and change the category, of course, so I get relevant item specifics to my item. So that's something that you definitely need to look for that not a lot of people talk about. One man show right now. I'm trying to list the backlog of inventory I have and try to do my research and take the pictures as best as I can. And sometimes you get in a little zone and get all your photos done, and it just really depends on how you want to do it. Like what I do is I'll take an item, I'll take 6+ pictures of the item depending on what it is, and I'll immediately go in, remove the background, throw it in my eBay app, and just find a similar listing, create the listing, and I'll launch it. I'll come back later in the evening, and any tweaks I need to make, I'll do on the computer, that kind of thing. At least I get it launched, and that's kind of my process, and I feel like it works better for me. Maybe I'll do a video on that, showing you in the app how I do it, and then how I go and clean it up. Maybe I'll do a video like that at another date. But whatever you feel works best for you, stick with it. Doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what any other YouTuber says. If you have help, great. You can maybe have somebody take photos while you do other things. That kind of task-based, assigning tasks to each other. But if you're a one-man or one-woman show, you got to find the process that works best for you. I have a different process with the way I work my patches, the collectibles. I have a totally different process. I can get in there and I'm just taking photos. Boom, boom, boom. I'll have like a stack of these badges here, like these Australian, and these are UK badges. But I'll take like badges and I'll just take about 5 photos with each, and I'm just flying. And I'll have all my photos. I'll upload them after I remove the background, and I go and edit the photos, and I'm ready to go. I just do my listings here at this station, and it works great. But it's not the same way that I do for my different items out in the garage. So just depends on how you have it set up. The reason why I do it that way is out in the garage, I have different size items. I have a storage area for items I've listed out there as well as here. And I'd rather be around the merchandise. I don't have a desktop computer out there. I just have my phone, and it's just faster to get it done quickly through the app rather than mess with it on the computer and drag everything in here like I used to. And that was a pain. We have BXX32. Last Sunday had 0 feedback buyer open an INAD return request. 44 minutes later, they opened an INAD chargeback, closing the eBay return request. Now I have a dispute with the credit card company, very angry. You can win that. Now, eBay gives you a photo to upload. Now, I think that's the most ridiculous thing. I don't know if they've changed it, but it's just a photo they want you to upload. Now, the best way to do that is take your Word document, type up your side of the story, and just do a screenshot. So I have this, it's a snipping tool that I use in Windows 11, and it's kind of hidden, so you got to kind of look for it. And I'll just do a little screenshot and I'll upload that. Now, in the screenshot, in the explanation, the buyer, most credit card companies have a requirement. Before a buyer can open a chargeback, they are required to deal with the merchant to try to solve the problem. If they don't solve the problem through the merchant, they are then going to use the chargeback as a way of resolving their issue. But if they bypass that, they're violating the credit card terms. Okay. So what you want to say is buyer did not contact the seller or eBay to try to resolve this problem. They did open a return, but immediately went in before we could actually use the return process. And they filed a chargeback, which is against the terms of the credit card agreement. And that is one way they can win the case, or you can win the case, because see, it's not just that the buyer is opening a chargeback. The buyer actually has to provide some form of proof that they did everything that they're supposed to do. And they will ask the buyer to upload documents as well. I know this because I've been involved on both sides of a chargeback, and it's not as easy as it seems for a buyer to get a chargeback done. So there's something that you might want to consider, just trying to do that, handle the chargeback that way. We have Lee Hayes 1. You give more informational content, which is much appreciated. Unfortunately, many YouTube viewers are looking for more entertainment sourcing videos. It does not really help them as much as solid info. The other thing that gets me, and I was thinking about doing a video like this. I just don't see the value in it, and that is what I call eBay bingo. And I was talking to Archie. We're going to make a funny little, like a spoof on this where, I'm going to show you everything I sold. So get your cards out. You're going to have your bingo cards out, and whatever I sell today, if you can hit a bingo, then you'll win a prize. So I'll go to B1, and I have an item in B1 that I've sold. Okay. 053 or 075, whatever it is. I have this item that I've sold. And, maybe, just maybe, you guys can win. I was actually thinking about doing a little spoof video like that, because it seems like why would you watch somebody and what they've sold? If you have like nothing to win, if you weren't playing like a bingo game, why would it matter if someone sold a dress today on eBay? I mean, does it give you hope that you're going to get a sale? And there's so many of those videos or channels really that's all their content. They only provide that. And for me, I just don't see the value in it. They get a lot of views, and I just don't get it. It just makes me crazy. And I really don't want to make my video like that. I actually had a couple of videos where I tried to show you, hey, here's what sold. I think a lot of people wanted to see that. I just don't know what the value is. And maybe you can help educate me. Why do you watch videos like that? Or channels like that, where all they do is just show you, here's what I did, and they're not really providing you any kind of, in my opinion, any kind of education or any kind of value that you can take away from it. Maybe you sell the same kind of items as that particular YouTuber, and maybe it gives you some ideas on what to source for, maybe, but I don't know. I just can't bring myself to make videos like that. But thank you for watching and appreciating the content that I do try to put together for you guys. BXX32, I'm going to lose the money and the item because, of course, this is going to be decided in the no, not necessarily. That chargeback is probably the best thing that could have happened to you. Now, a lot of people get worried, maybe I should just refund and not pay the $20 if I lose. Knock on, well, this isn't wood, particle board, that I haven't lost the case. I have not lost the chargeback. And I think a lot of people, they don't really use that little technique where they put their side of the story. The credit card company is not there to screw sellers. They're not going to go in and just side with the buyer because the buyer happens to be one of their customers. They have to do their due diligence. And if you don't present your side of the story, and unfortunately eBay doesn't give you a very good opportunity to do it when they ask you for a photo, you're going to lose if you don't know what to do with that. If you just basically send say you're going to fight the chargeback and you don't have anything to send, maybe you take a photo of the listing. The credit card companies doesn't see any, eBay's not going to fight for you. They don't know you from Adam. But if they have a document that says, oh, well, what's this? It says that the buyer didn't even bother to follow the process. Well, that's a problem. Well, why didn't they do that? So follow the process. Will you win every time? No, you won't win every time because you're counting on a third-party person who doesn't know you or the next person to decide on the case. But if you give yourself an opportunity to explain your side of the story, more often than not, you're going to win the case. So, and to me, it's worth the $20 gamble. And I'm in Vegas and I like to gamble. It's worth the gamble. I sell mostly vintage jewelry and some collectibles. And so that's with your report. So VG Sims has about 20% promoted. And I tell you, I was pretty spot on. You said some collectibles, vintage jewelry. A lot of times when you're dealing with vintage stuff or collectibles, you're really not going to use promoted too often. I mean, if you do, you might be wasting a little bit of money. And I say that because with collectibles, I'm learning a lot about collectibles, and that's only because I'm doing it myself right now. And I have these cool pins, and I've been kind of picking through them. Some of these are Australian. I think all of them are. But these are military pins. And, you just list them, and you're going to get the traffic because people are looking for that type of merchandise. I won't promote these. I'll just put them up as they are and I'll sell them. Remember, I'm into these for like 20 cents a piece. And to me, if I sell them for $5, $10, $15 a piece off of auction, awesome. But what I'm doing is I'm auctioning them off first before I put them in my store. They don't sell at $9.99 or higher. I'll just put them in my store at an adjusted price, and been doing pretty well. Just with these patches, I was talking to Archie earlier today, and he's about $2,500 on his 225 investment. I'd say his value is about $225. That's what I paid for my half. And I'm about 3,000, and I'd say deduct a couple, $200-300 from that, from the actual cost to ship some of these items. And there you go, 10x my money. And I still got a ton of these things to go through. Juan says, do you use HiBid for sourcing? I've never heard of HiBid. Is it like an auction site, that type of thing? There are some sites that I'm looking at, like I think it's HaulShare, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can still see me. I'm actually looking at it here. There's sites like that where you can actually deal with large lots that people are selling, and that type of thing. Let's see here real quick so I can pull it up. No, but I don't know what UBid is. I've never really done that. I have to find the right name of that company. It's one of the companies. I actually talked to the CEO. I have a bad memory sometimes. Actually, what my dad used to say, I have a good memory, but it's short. And so the actual name of the company just escapes me right now, but I will try to find it and get back to you on that. There's a lot of places to source right now. There's not saying, me talking about how I'm not able to source and this, that, and other thing. I do source still. I have my old reliables that I don't share with people. There's other, I'm sure, good sourcing opportunities that I'm just not aware of. And that's the thing, getting yourself out there, networking with other people, learning what options or possibilities are out there is huge for your business. And there's been times, I mean, if it wasn't for Archie, I wouldn't even have these patches. So awesome to him. Kudos to him for sharing that with me. If you guys have any sourcing opportunities that you're aware of, that you're willing to share, flipitanteasy2020@gmail.com. Please send me an email. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. Get a swamp cooler for the garage is exactly what Archie said. And you're probably right. I'm making it bearable. I have a fan that's just going right at my face, so it's not that bad. But, for now, I'm going to try to bear it. If not, I definitely will do that. AIOU, look at that. Caught alive with Flipping Ain't Easy. Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for making it. Try to make it at different times. I think, we have like 75 people watching right now. So it may be that the afternoon is probably the best time for most people. People are kind of winding down their day or getting home from work and getting ready to jump into eBay for the evening. And so I think this is probably the best time. And, mornings are not really great for me because getting all that residual shipping I wasn't able to get the night before, and I look like crap anyway in the morning. So I think afternoon is probably the best for me. And I mean, I'm not trying to say I look like anything good in the afternoon either, but you know what I'm saying. You're tired and you just want to get your day started. I think for me, afternoons are probably the best time to do lives. Can't stay live, but I'll watch the replay. Awesome. Watch the replay. No matter what you do, hit the like button. I certainly would appreciate that. One Man Show says, which app do you use for background removal? You can use the eBay app. eBay app is pretty good. I think I made a video on that about how you can do that. It doesn't cost you anything. I still have a 1-year contract with PhotoRoom where I signed up for the 1 year back in January, and it works okay for me. They have issues. Sometimes if you have white on white, it doesn't really work too well, but I use them primarily, but we'll use the eBay app when things go wrong. Want to say thank you to Lee Hayes. Sent me a super chat, $10 super chat. Awesome. Thank you. If you like to gamble, put $10 on red. Buy me a beer if you win. Thanks. Okay. Awesome. What if I put $10 on 32 red? That'll win 35-1. And that's, I could buy you, lunch or something. That's even better. Are you in the Vegas area? If you are, hit me up. If you come visit, Send me an email. Let's see. Chase Brooklyn, best eBay tips channel on YouTube. Keep the videos coming, man. You're really providing amazing stuff. Awesome. Thank you. Now, let me ask you guys this. I was thinking about diving even deeper into eBay, like different things, like, heck, I just escapes me, but just different tasks on eBay, doing those kind of things. So, how to, how I relist or do the sell similar, that process that I do every day, the process where I go in and the items that are in red about to end within a 24-hour period, I do the end item relist, and then I go in and cross list. You guys at all interested in seeing a video on that type of thing? Little things like that, little tweaks and processes that maybe some people aren't even aware of. Comment down below or in the chat. Let me know if that's something that you guys would even care to watch. Because again, I'm not interested in making content like eBay bingo on what I sold today. And it's not something I would want to watch. And I don't want to make stuff that's not interesting. And that's, I want to be helpful as much as possible. I don't want to make content to show off what I did. Sometimes I've actually had people, sometimes when I show my numbers, I get people kind of mad at me and they'll say, hey, you're showing off. And I'm not, I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing. And I think sometimes people take that the wrong way. So let me know down below or in the chat what you guys want to see on the channel, because I do make these videos for you guys. One Man Show is a one-man shop as well. So, and hopefully I'm right in that. Maybe it's just not my twisted mindset, but if you do this business and you don't have anyone else in this business, it can be very lonely. And sometimes you'll have days where you just wish you had someone to bounce ideas and thoughts on that also are resellers. That's at least how I felt for the longest time. Thanks for Archie for being there. He's a good friend, and I appreciate his friendship and the fact that he sells on eBay. And there's times that he totally tells me, I don't agree, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate that. Darth Maul TTV says, I think I won't be selling on eBay anymore. So the question to you is this. Where are you going to sell? Are you going to sell it all? Are you going to sell locally? Are you going to do your own Shopify where you have to pay to drive traffic to your items? Are you going to go to the other sites which really have less and less traffic? In a perfect world, Amazon for me would be ungated, and I would just list most of my items there. But if I have a Nike or an Adidas, I can't even sell there because I have to have invoices, and I don't buy wholesale like that. And I don't have invoices from a distributor that I can share and get approved for. So therefore I can't sell those items on Amazon. So where are you going to sell them? Because, or are you just quitting altogether? And, I hate to think that you quit. If it is a viable source of income, if you do have money coming in, don't let eBay's lack of being in touch with the seller stop you from making the money that you have been making. Unless you're just not making money at all and your time is worth more than the little bit of money you're making, and you have other ways of making money or spending your time, then I understand. No One Design Too. A lot of people ignore everyday general items, and I get the return on investment is not there. An instant big net return is what people want these days, but that's fine by me because I make a killing in that category. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that I get in my pallets are just everyday general items. I'm just talking stuff it's like I didn't even know existed. And, I find out what it is. I try to find out the demand. If it doesn't have a lot of demand or it's only going to get me like $10, I'll just put it in the liquidation box and move on. But there's a lot of stuff that I sell every day. It's like, wow, I didn't even think this thing was going to sell. And here I am, I'm shipping it out. So you're right. There's a lot of good, just general everyday items. And if you think about it, retail, there's reports that retail is way down. Okay. So if someone needs that item, that everyday item, well, if they're not going to retail, where are they going? Chances are they're going to eBay or Mercari or finding it at a cheaper price because they're trying to save money. And chances are they're buying it from you. So nothing wrong with what you're selling. That's for sure. No one designed two. I still preach general merch is the blue chip of stock. People ignore it, so I'll take it. Yeah, it just right now you focus on the wants versus the needs over the wants, and I think that's probably the best way to source, at least in my opinion. If you're buying things that people just only want, you're probably not going to do as well as if you can find some good deals on the needs. Like these patches, I just wonder, we're doing well on them, but what would my prices on these auctions look like if we had people out there with a lot of money to spend and they still wanted these patches? I'm probably going to get more than what I've been getting. I mean, I'm not complaining at all, but even though I'm selling these things, I'm really selling for less than what most people would sell them for. These are collectibles, but because I'm in so cheap for them, doesn't I'm not trying to keep them. They're very cool, but I'm not a collector by any means. So for me, I just want to get rid of them, and I want to get as much as I can out of them. Whereas maybe a collector, knowing their value, wouldn't dare sell them for $10. I think $9.99 is my starting price on these auctions. And if they only get one bid, I'm selling for $10. For some people, it's like I wouldn't dare sell my collection for $10 a piece. These are some vintage items that are hard to find. And for me, it just doesn't matter. I'm not invested emotionally in these items like some sellers are. Chase Brooklyn, hey man, can you shout out my brother Tommy? He just started his eBay store and is working hard to hit 3K listings. Your channel is inspiring. Well, Tommy, keep it up. 3K is awesome. I mean, I'm not even at 1,000, and to me, it's just I have a lack of room. I have enough room in my garage to maybe get about 1,500, but honestly, 3,000 is awesome. So keep up the good work, and this business is a grind. You're going to have some months where you're just killing it. You're going to have some months where you're just slow, and you just have to just keep your nose to the grind. There's days that I'm demoralized, bad sales, and it's like, wow, why am I out here in this hot garage working? And just know that, you may have sold a couple items, but you can list 10, 20, 30, 40 items today, and eventually you're going to get someone who needs that item. So keep going. Thanks for telling Tommy about the channel. I appreciate it. M3 Tesla, when and how do you decide when to dispute a return? I had a $10 item and would have cost $10 shipping to return. I don't ever dispute a return. I'll accept a return if like the buyer will put a reason, right? Like arrived damaged or whatever. And usually they'll put a reason. No, not always, but if they want me to consider anything like a partial refund, I'm going to set the terms. I'm not going to let them come at me with a message saying I want a partial. I want to determine, did I screw up? Did I send them an item that maybe was broken and I didn't realize it? Maybe I screwed up. And if I screwed up, I'm more willing to say, look, I don't want to put you through a return. Here's your money back. And hopefully that, makes you happy. And if you can still use the item, awesome. I've had to do that on a couple occasions, and I don't have a problem with that. It's the people that reach out and you can just tell they are trying to squeeze you for as much money as something back on the deal. That's no good for me. And even if they try to claim something, the way they word, sometimes your sixth sense will kick in and you'll just know there's something not right about this guy. And to me, I'll say, just return the item. I don't get involved in partial refunds that are solicited. And I won't tell the buyer this, but in my mind, that are solicited by the buyer because they've played the game before. If they're asking you for a partial or insinuating a partial refund, they've played the game before and it works, and they're going to do it on you, and they'll probably do it on the next person, even when there's nothing wrong. Links Gems. Buyers should be careful doing chargeback. Credit card companies can close their accounts if they apply for a credit card in the future. Yeah, and it'll show right in the credit report, account closed, whatever, right? And certainly, I do think you got to have proof, because the credit card companies will ask for proof. When I did a chargeback, back in 2019 on a pallet of goods that was just, wasn't anything. It's 6 or 7 items. It was manifested. The top 6 or 7 items in the manifest weren't there. And we're talking, $300-400 items, and they're gone. Called the company and went back and forth. They tried to offer me like $200 credit for next. No, we're talking thousands of dollars of stuff missing. We need to do something here. And they didn't budge. So I had no choice other than to go to my credit card company, provided emails, provided, to prove that I work with the company, and they still didn't want to work with me, provided the actual shipping freight information, provided everything. I think I uploaded like 20 documents, and I won my case. So, and I think what happened was it timed out. The company that was the company I was disputing against never replied to the credit card company. So I won by default. Now, thankfully, eBay charges that $20. I know it sucks to pay the $20, but if you think about it, eBay is processing that information back and forth with the credit card company on your behalf. So, chargebacks stink. Thankfully, it's like 1% of your total transactions, or I sell like 2,000 to 3,000 items, and knock on particle board, I haven't had one in the last year and a half. So let's hope that continues. I found that I have to list all my items twice because so much goes in the wrong place. It's crazy. Also have to do inventory a couple times a year. There's always several items that just disappear. Isn't that crazy? You can do everything right. And I don't know why no one's been able to answer it, but there's times that if I check every 6 months, I will find 30 plus items that are just sitting on the shelf and there's no listing, hasn't been sold, just gone. And I think, theories are slower moving items, eBay, instead of letting that thing auto renew to the fixed price for another 30 days, they just don't renew it. And they don't even give you, see, that's the thing about eBay. And I was thinking about this earlier. All of us sellers, we like to think this is our business. We can choose what we want to do with our business, but do you really have free choice on your business? I almost feel like an employee to eBay. It's like they choose to tell me what they feel is important. They don't feel that maybe they're not going to relist my item is not important, when of course it's important. So if you are choosing, or you're letting the algorithm choose to not renew my item, then wouldn't it be like a good idea to send me an email or a message to let me know, hey, due to low views or low traffic or low sales on this item, we no longer want this item on the site and we've removed it. I respect that. But to tie up my inventory space, that the little bit that I have, and items are sitting there for months and they're not visible to anyone, I think is just wrong. Again, another thing that eBay does, and it's definitely like we're working for them. We just have so little control over our listings. AIOU from eBay says, OMG, bingo actually sounds like a great idea. It needs some kinks worked out, but it could be awesome. It could be awesome. And maybe we'll do that in the future just for fun. But I need to get my sales up, because otherwise it'll be a long bingo game. Can I have permission to steal and restructure that idea as long as I give you credit? Sure. But don't get upset if I use it, because it's something. Oh, and we were going to have like Archie was going to come over, and Jenna was going to come down, and like someone hits bingo, and like Archie's going to yell in the background, "Oh, come on!" and like throw his dauber at me, right? So, so we thought it would be kind of a fun little thing. I mean, it doesn't always have to be serious, these videos. BG Sims, in my opinion, you have the best channel here. You're straightforward and to the point, always great content. You're always on top of what is happening on eBay. Well, I try. I'm not always on top of it. I mean, there's a lot of good channels out there. There's a lot of good channels that do give out information. I think some of the larger channels sometimes keep bouncing the same message off of people, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I still watch because there's still stuff to learn, but hopefully, I'm thankful that you find this content helpful. That's all that matters to me. AIU from eBay says, is not joking. It sounds like it is a fun concept, but it's just not my cup of tea. If I made videos that showed off what I sold all the time, I'm sure I would have incorporated that by now. But maybe something in the future. It's just got to be fun. If it's boring, here's what I sold. You didn't sell anything this week. So, I'm going to show you all the stuff I sold. And what kind of motivation is that? I don't know if that's motivating. Some people would be like, wow, I can't do this. I'm going to quit because this guy over here is selling all this garbage and I can't even sell these things I think are nice. So I don't know if I wanted to make those kind of videos, but definitely if I do, it's going to involve some kind of fun aspect to it. That's for sure. No One Designed too. I don't like to watch sold videos, but I think people watch it to look out for items they see in sold videos. Yeah, maybe bolos, they're trying to get ideas, I guess. But there's so many items on eBay. And I mean, it's hard to remember all the bolos, be on the lookouts that are out there. Promoted listings is eBay's own pay-to-play scheme. It is. But wouldn't it be great? And maybe I'm just asking too much, and maybe I've already asked this, but how about eBay just say, look, this is what we want you to do. If you do these things, you're going to be successful. Now, if you use promoted listings, you should use it for no, they're not going to come out and say that. They want you to spend money. Like if you're selling collectibles, they want you to come out and spend a whole bunch of money on promoted listings when you don't need to. They're not clear on how to play their game. It's like buying a board game and having to figure out the rules as you go. And that's kind of what eBay is. Pete Palmer, I just look at other seller stores to see what they're listing and selling. This gives me an idea what to keep an eye out for. I came out with a video a while back on that, and know what your competition is. So what I like to do when I'm listing stuff, there's times that I will then look at that item. Okay, that they sold the same item I have for $40. And yeah, that's interesting. It looks a lot like the kind of condition my item is in. Let me take a look at their store. So I look at the store and then, oh, wouldn't you know, they seem to source the same kind of items, and I'm willing to bet they probably source at the same kind of location. Probably Amazon returns like I do. And so I go in and look at their store some more and maybe get ideas and see what they're doing. There's some stores that are just killing it, and they're doing it with negative feedbacks. They're doing it with low shipping costs. And sometimes I just scratch my head, but it gives me ideas on things that I should be doing differently. And that's a good idea, I think. John M., I recently won a case with no questions and didn't ask me to send anything as they switched out the video game with their busted disc and kept my good one. But you had to at least explain that in your chargeback reply. I'm sure you had to at least say that you don't agree because of X, Y, and Z. Sorting low to high isn't going to list promoted first. It's not. It's going to low to high is another method that a lot of buyers use that sort of wipe out the need for promoted listings. But most buyers just don't mess with those buttons. They don't mess with the drop-down menus. They don't mess with the options on the side. Most buyers just type in what they're looking for and they're searching for it. And what happens is eBay will default to best match, which means you're subject to the algorithm. They look at your price. They look at your account health. They look at your listing quality. They look at a number of factors, and of course, promoted listings to sort you on the first, second, third, 20th page. And that's just, they don't tell us, how we can improve our listings in that regard. That's, I guess, proprietary information they don't want to share. Disgruntled Octopus says, was in the Australian Air Force. A lot of us cringe when we see military paraphernalia. Well, you know what? There's a lot of ex-military people who want this stuff. I had, Archie had a couple patches. I've had a couple patches that went over $100 for a patch. I had one went for $120. And I guess they just see that nostalgia. It's something that they just need to have in their collection, and they bid it up. Let's see. One Man Show, it has been very helpful, and you can also search with your zip code. I guess you're talking about, I guess I missed a comment. Sorry about that. We'll just keep going. Sometimes there's side chat and there's nothing wrong with that. There's side chat in this video, and I get it kind of mixed up. Elo Mora says, late to the party. Well, at least you're here. That's certainly appreciated. Archie says, John, you're my Tekken sport. If you guys watch Chris's channel from Daily Refinement, his buddy is Tekken Sport. I'm nowhere near tech and sports level. Tech and sports is a machine. I can't even think about being at that level. I mean, maybe someday, but I don't think the guy plays golf. He doesn't take time to go do the things he likes to do, and that keeps me halfway sane. So as long as you're making your bills and paying I don't need to make $1 million. There's like Daily Refinement came out with a video saying you'll never get rich on eBay. Well, I don't think the goal for most of us is to get rich on eBay. We just want to pay our bills. For some of us, this is replacing jobs we've lost. So for some of us, it's just supplementing jobs that just have pretty terrible pay schedule, and we're just trying to make our bills and have a little left over at the end of the week to go and just spend some time with family or friends. And I haven't met one person whose goal is, look, I'm gonna have a Lambo or whatever at the end of the year. It's not realistic. So I think there's I hate to say it, just a little bit of being out of touch. I just want to pay my bills. I want to make the money I need to make to survive. And I think that's like 90% of resellers. Let's see. AIU says, thumb dropped. I'll watch it later. Thank you for being on. Thank you for hanging out with us. I certainly appreciate it. One Busy Mama to you says, use chili towels on your neck, all different brands. You just saturate it with hot water. I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm going to continue. But I suppose I don't know what that means. Maybe you're talking about the heat in my garage, I'm sure. Yeah, there's some actual cool towels that you can put on your neck that I've used for golf and that kind of thing. And I think that does help. But you know what? My thing is, take as little time as I have to out there, get the larger items that won't fit on this station, and take the photos out there and then just bring them in. And we're getting to that point. Right now it's 107 degrees where I'm at in Las Vegas. That's hot. I mean, I have my air on and it's still hot. Let me just put it that way. And that's because of these windows. I've got these cathedral ceilings in here with windows that are like 20 feet up, and the heat gets through them. Smoker's Cough, you're not a show off like the others I've seen. I've appreciated your perspective on your own numbers and wouldn't see it as bragging. It's funny that some people do. I had one person say, I can't stand it when you get on here and tell us how well you're doing. Sorry, I didn't think I was doing that well. I'm doing well enough, but I didn't think I was bragging. Bragging is saying, look, I'm going to take these packages, I'm going to load them up in my Ferrari outside. Come and look at my Ferrari. Watch me load these packages in this nice car. And I'll show you the steak and lobster dinner that I bought from all the reselling I've done. That's showing it off. But I get some people that give me flack for it. But I think, like I said earlier in the program, it's one of those things where I've come to the realization I can't make everyone happy. So there's going to be a number of people that watch this program and go, this guy sucks, and like move on. And that's fine. But I'm glad that you guys can hang out with me and handle my videos, handle just who I am. And I certainly appreciate that. Gay Sarah says, Gretzky was a reptilian hybrid. I have no idea. I know that's Wayne Gretzky for the Hall of Fame hockey player, but I have no idea what that means. So I'll let somebody answer that in the comments. Anyone that thinks John is arrogant or a show off, far from it. Most humble person I know, genuinely wants to help. He'll always answer phones when I'm in a panic about eBay. And this man calls me all the time. I call him all the time, but at least I answer. He sometimes, most of the time, doesn't answer, but that's fine. I'm glad to be of help. And I like giving Archie a hard time, as you guys can tell. But he definitely is a good sport, and I definitely enjoy hanging with him. I'm glad he reached out and said, hey, look, I'm local, and, and just talk to me, and, shared phone numbers, and that was it. So you can never have enough eBay friends in the world, I think. I'm a true believer of that. Hey, John, there's an idea. Try looking into eBay Discord. Haven't seen any eBay YouTubers doing that. Try taking a poll to gauge the interest. Just a suggestion. There are channels that have Discord. They're charging their members. And I understand this. Look, if you have, I think we have 12,000 subscribers. That's just subscribers. I think the stats are like 70% of the people that actually watch these videos, they don't subscribe. And so you're talking really like 30, 40, 50,000 people at any given time will watch your video. And so potentially you're dealing with a lot of people with questions and that need help. And so the whole purpose behind channels charging for discords and things like that is to keep the number of people, the serious sellers, that can get the help they need in a timely manner. I haven't thought about going, and I don't like doing that. I think that, if it makes me feel like I'm holding back my best, because you're not paying for it, I think that's just kind of the wrong message. But I can understand bigger channels. They want to help, but they can't. There's going to come a time where I'm going to get so many comments on these videos. I'm not going to be able to answer all of you, but I do try, but that's with 12,000 subscribers. So, and we just hit 12,000 the other day. So it's something that, I never thought I'd get to. I thought we'd have, a couple thousand maxed out, and I'd be glad to do these videos to help the few that wanted to watch. But yeah, it's awesome, and if share this content with friends that resell, and that does get the word out. So thank you. One busy mama to you says, I mainly sell clothes. I recently upped my sales with and sell similar on those items. I know people are searching now: golf, fishing, beach covers, bathing suits, Speedos, things like that. I have a bunch of winter clothes, new with tags, that I know for a fact are going to sell. I haven't even bothered listing them because it's the wrong time of year. So those seasonal items that you're talking about is definitely a good idea to get those out now. Rethink what your potential buyer needs or wants now. Yeah, that's for sure. No One Design 2 says you can do a Discord on YouTube live stream so you can still monetize from YouTube. Just an idea. Yeah, something I'll look into. Katia07, maybe I got that wrong. How do you feel when you sell something way above your typical sale, and what are your actions to protect yourself from such a sale? Like that patch that sold, I'm in for 20 cents. It sold for 120 bucks. Well, I feel elated when I sell the item. I see so many people on some of these Facebook groups, they get panicky, right? They'll send a message. I just sold this $400 item, and you put it on there for a reason. You put it on there to sell it. And I know that you may see, you hear bad stories about people, getting like this one that we had from BG, chargebacks, that kind of thing. But it's such a small percentage. It's just so few and far between. I had a $1,200, I think it was a switch. I used to call it a server. It's from Cisco, and it was new in the box. I've never used it. I have no need for a switch. And I sold it, and I got scammed. And the person opened a chargeback claiming that it was burnout and this, that, and the other thing. I won the case. And at no point up until the chargeback happened did I kind of get, freaked out about it. I was happy for the sale. 30 days passed. I was happy. Hey, he must be happy with the item. We passed the return period. And then 59 days in, here comes the chargeback. But I was still nervous. I was a lot like, am I going to win? I just provided that information, and I won. So, it's just, you can't allow yourself to, it's called monsters under the bed. So you're afraid of what could happen or what's in the closet. And you just got to get past that mentality. You have to be happy you made the sale, take the money, reinvest it. And even if you get a charge back on that $400 item, right? Okay. If you're making thousands of dollars in a year, if you're doing it consistently, full-time or whatever, it's not going to be that. It sucks at the time. Even a $20 return sometimes sucks at the time. Like, for instance, returns. I'm dealing with slow sales this week. Okay. And eBay decided that they were going to hit me with all my UPS charges from like 2 weeks ago. And now I get a return and I have no balance in my account. So I'm sitting there trying to get sales so I can refund this guy's money. And we're talking like a $20 return, and I have no money in the account. The alternative is you'll get that error message if you don't have any money in your account and you're trying to refund money. The alternative is you have to call eBay, tell them what the situation is, because I have until tomorrow to get this refund to the buyer. And so I'm gonna have to call them if I don't get enough money in the account and say, you guys need to refund this buyer. Now, because they're stepping in to refund the buyer on your behalf, guess what? They're going to hit you with a defect. They're going to basically then tell you, call back in 72 hours and you can dispute the defect. Well, okay, so what's the impact on my account now? I mean, I'm getting, is it going to hurt my views in the algorithm? eBay thinks I'm a bad seller because of this, something that was out of my control. So don't feel, long story short, just be happy you made the sale and move on, and insure the item when you're shipping it, so that if there's any issues they're claiming that happened during shipping, have it insured. But you know what? Just be happy you made the sale and move on. Collecting chaos. As long as the items I sell make a profit, I don't worry about, even if I only make 50 cents on the item, then again, I'm retired and just sell to get rid of my excess collection. That's kind of my mentality on these patches, selling some of these things for 99 cents, not the good ones I just showed you, but some of the stuff that I'm not able to sell in a typical auction. And I'm good with that because I'm into them for 20 cents after fees. I'm not taking a hit on the shipping. They're paying that. I may make a 50 cents to $1 on the shipping. So I'm just moving the stuff. And if I was to go back and say, I'm just going to be able to sell these for 99 cents a piece, I still would have gone in to this lot of patches, because, even at 99 cents a piece after fees, you're still making 3x on your money at 20 cents. I think it's like 10 to 20 cents is kind of the average. Tommy Bernhard podcast says also there's a correlation between people not researching sell-through rate and bad sales. But if your viewers answered truthfully, it would be an eye-opening. And that's the problem. I think that there's a lot of sellers out there that aren't honest with themselves. It's like Archie was telling me, he reaches out to a lot of these people selling stuff and they want eBay prices. They're trying to sell all this stuff. They're trying to move it. And they keep referring to eBay. Well, this item sells for this on eBay. Well, we're not dealing with eBay. You're trying to move this stuff. You're not putting the work in on eBay. So let's not talk about eBay. And it's the same mentality that people have. They list their item. Let's say they have an open box item that retails for $50. They know it retails for $50. They know it looks like a good item. It looks new, but it's open box. A lot of people are trying to get a new price for that. They're trying to list their item as if it was new. And that's a mistake. They ignore the market. They ignore the solds. They ignore the fact that same open box item on eBay probably sells for 50 to 60% of retail. And because of that, they're priced too high. And they refuse to bring down their prices because, well, it retails for $50. I am willing to bet that some people that are complaining about slow sales can do a lot better with their merchandise. Start with pricing. Of course, that comes along with researching. So check the solds. It's very simple. You have a slow moving item. Do a simple search on that item on eBay. See how many competitors you have. Now, click on the sold item button. See how many items have sold in the last, I think 30 days they show on that, if I'm not mistaken. On your reports, it's 90. I think on the search results, it's 30. It could be 90. But check that out. See how many, if you have 1,000 competitors selling the same item, but it's only sold 30 times, that means what? What does that mean to you? To me, that means that if I'm trying to sell this same item on an item that has a lot of competition and few buyers, that means that I need to be in the buyer's mind something special. Something special has to be about my item, whether it's the price, maybe have better photos in the competition, that type of thing. Or like what Tommy does is he likes to have higher promoted listings to get higher in search. Buyers aren't interested in going to page 10. They want to solve their need when they're buying an item, whether it's a need or a want, it's still a need in their mind. And they are only interested in page 1. Most buyers won't go beyond page 1. So his strategy is get on page 1. And I'm sure that a lot of his sales come from being on page 1. So how do you make your listings special? So I'm not here to poo-poo on promoted listings. I think it definitely is a tool that you can use. I'm poo-pooing on eBay's stance on it and stance towards the seller. So the theme about this video is it's not about the 1%. It's about eBay's attitude that, you know what, here it is. It's a last minute. It's definitely a last minute change. Nobody can convince me otherwise. It's a reactionary change to their stock prices, and they're putting it on the seller, and they're trying to put a nice little coat of paint on it to make you smile. It's putting that lipstick on a pig type of thing. Let's see. Pete Palmer. I've had people ask for partial refunds, and when I said I don't do partial refunds, but I do take returns, they refused to return the item and leave negative feedback, and eBay won't remove it. Good news, Pete, is negative feedback doesn't hurt you as much as it used to. And of course, eBay wouldn't answer the question that I asked them. They've pretty much stopped inviting me back to their monthly meetings. But it doesn't hurt you as much as it used to. Put a reply. Put exactly what happened. They tried to shake me down for a refund and didn't want to send the item back. And we offer a generous 30-day return policy. And they wanted to keep the item and get a refund. And I think that's your best course of action. Use the form to, I think there's a feedback removal tool form, because when you call in, that's all they're going to do. They're going to fill out that form. You're better off putting your own words in. And I've had, I've had feedback removed that way. And usually that's it within minutes. Never hurts to try. Austin says, late to the show, was listing. Sales are doing great for me. That's awesome. Awesome. You know, we talk about slow sales, but I think, you know, you're still working the algorithm. Your consistency matters. Yes, there's less buyers on the platform, less people looking for that same item. You just got to work a little bit smarter, be more in tune with your listings, compare to your competition. I mean, it's like, if you don't know what your competition's doing, you don't know what they're pricing it as, how are you going to compete? So these things are all really important. And we got a lot of crazy people. Hold on. I'm going to block this user. That is horrible. And those of you watching the live stream know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I definitely need to get a mod on here, because block the user and putting them in timeout. I don't know why it's not blocking them. So I apologize for that, guys. We have Bacon Eater. You have no choice with eBay. They own you and they know it. They do not care about sellers at all. I feel that way sometimes. I mean, who here really feels like they're in charge of their business? They can make whatever decisions they want with their items. I'm willing to bet it's probably the larger sellers. Someone asked me about Crocs. Like, I guess Crocs had a situation where they ran out of stock and they weren't able to fulfill their orders. I don't know if that was on eBay or not. But I'm willing to bet you, because they're a larger company, that it didn't hurt their account. They probably have a rep, one of those reps that, you know, we kind of talked about on a few lives ago, where you get the special rep that'll be in charge of your account and your promoted listing percentage. I'm willing to bet that they don't get hit with the same kind of defects we do. Daniel Flores says, any good alternatives to eBay? None that I know of. Now, you can play the numbers game, which is what I'm starting to do over the last month or so, getting your items on more sites, get different buyers. Just think about it. There's some people who just don't want to deal with eBay. As buyers, maybe there's a lot of buyers who've run into search problems. I can't find the item I'm looking for. I try to look for this item, I get something totally different. That frustrates buyers. That creates a high effort experience. Sites need to create a low effort customer experience where it doesn't take a lot of effort to find what they're looking for. If after a few searches like that, they still can't find the item they're looking for, who would think of eBay as the go-to place anymore? And so you have other sites like Mercari, Poshmark for clothes, Etsy for collectibles. You can still sell on Amazon. You can sell used stuff on Amazon if you can get gated. And there's a lot of good alternatives to eBay. And you just got to be willing to branch out. And whether you use Prime Lister or not, you can use your own tool. There's other tools out there. I just happen to use Prime Lister and recommend it. Use the link down below if you're interested in trying it out. I think 7 to 14 days, and they don't need a credit card. Okay, that's a spiel. But it is definitely a tool. What I kind of think is cool is I'll just run a daily thing on Mercari, and it'll send offers, like a 10% offers to all my watchers or all my likers on an item, and I don't have to go item per item because I really don't want to spend a lot of time in Mercari. I'd rather spend most of my time in eBay and then maybe spend a few minutes in this site checking on it just every day, checking on these sites. And a tool like that, like Prime Lister, really does help with that. Let's see. Ryan McClurg says, give us a good sourcing tip besides the obvious: Goodwills, yard sales, whatnot, etc. Well, I don't know about Whatnot being a good sourcing location. I have a Whatnot account, and they keep harassing me about selling on Whatnot, even though I've gone through the Zoom meeting to get signed up and everything. But I don't know if it's such a great sourcing location. Check your local liquidator. Liquidationmaps.com. I think it's maps or one liquidation map. But liquidationmap.com. And that will, it's liquidationmap.com. And you'll get a map of the world. And so far, it's just North America. There's a little bit in UK that pop up. And just zoom into your area, scroll right into the area of the country you're in, and you'll find liquidators. Reach out to those liquidators. They usually will have a website. Check out their website, see if they have merchandise that you might want to sell. And that's a good starting point. So hopefully that helps you. No One Design. If you're seeing listing disappearing on a 150 item store, I would seriously look into your eBay settings. And if that's dead end, call eBay's help. They won't be able to answer that. eBay, you call them and they will probably say something ridiculous. I learned that I can't. Okay. I called yesterday about my other account. I have 250 free auctions on the basic store, not the starter store, basic store. And I ran into where I'm paying 25 cents in auction selling these patches. Oh, that's awesome. That's a sign we all love to hear. But it's a message that accompanied the sale. So it's probably asking me questions after they bought it. So selling these patches, and I'm starting them off at like 99 cents. And sometimes I'm selling them at 99 cents. So do I want to spend 25 cents per auction to launch more auctions? Or do I want to wait to the end of the month? It's just something I wanted to consider. And so I asked the rep, I said, can you look at my account and tell me, because some of us have an account set from like the 15th of the month when it resets, and some have the first of the month. And, I just did a callback request and I'm working, and here comes a call. And the rep, I said, can you just tell me when I'll get the 250 additional listings? And he said, well, you can always upgrade and get 250 more. I said, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not interested in paying $40 more. I just want to know what date I can start getting free listings. And he had to put me on hold twice, and he transferred me. And then the next rep was not helpful. I said, look, why should this be a 20-minute phone call? Can you guys just answer the question? He finally said the first of the month. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. So I have a decision to make. We have 14 days at the beginning of the month. Do I want to, spend another $50 to $100 selling them now? These are collectibles. I can sell a little bit every month, maybe save a little bit of money. I don't know. It's a decision I have to make. But when you call these reps, they're not all that helpful. They're really not. Boxer puppy dog Daisy May. Now that you I can't even read English today. Know that you're live. Do you think Crocs had to pay a final value fee for all their out of stock canceled sales? I don't think that you would pay a final value fee on the canceled sales. Those just are canceled sales. They give the money back. So I don't think that they pay final value fee. I think a large company like that, that has a rep, and a large company like that would probably have a dedicated eBay rep. They probably will get like a rep saying, please don't do that again. And that's it. Here's buyers are going to get taken care of. They're going to get all their money back, and just do better next time. I really think that's how they handle those large sellers. Gail says, some of us old military guys love to collect patches. I started when I joined after I retired. It's nostalgia. People want to remember, like, oh, I served in that branch. I want that patch, that kind of thing. What about initially listing without promoted, then shortly after hit promoted? Wouldn't that trigger the algorithm better because you're showing technically more activity? You can do a lot of things, changing your title, changing your photos around, changing your price. it would give the same effect. Now, of course, if you're changing from no promoted to promoted, that certainly would be the same. It'd be the same as if you added promoted at the start of the listing, I think. What a lot of people do is they'll sell an item. They have 10 of the item. They'll sell it really cheap. They'll sell the first one really cheap and keep upping the price. And that does trick the algorithm in some cases to show activity and interest in your item. And eventually the item is back up to the price they wanted, and people buy the item at the price that they want. I mean, there's little ways to try to trick the algorithm, but the algorithm is just a mystery to a lot of us think we have it figured out, but I haven't met one person that has it figured out 100%. Wanda says, when stores were first an option, eBay promised sellers that having one meant your listings got priority. Just another broken promise. So now there's no promises with the store. It's just you get the markdown sale and you get the coupon, whereas someone with the store doesn't have. Tommy says, people just don't look at the people's stores. Tekken and Daily Refinement sell clothing for $3 plus 33% off coupon. You have to have massive sales this way. Who wants to sweatshop, though? I mean, they're selling hundreds of items a day, and they have help. A lot of us don't have the help that they have either. Collecting chaos is my goal for eBay is an easy one. List 70 items a week and sell some of them. I am currently at that level and spend roughly 17 hours a week doing it. Awesome. If that works for you, bottom line is whether you spend an hour or 40 hours or 70 hours a week, is eBay helping you pay your bills? I mean, none of us do this for fun. I mean, maybe some of you do. But I would say most of us, if we just had an option to do something different, maybe we do that. But this is what it is. This is what we do to supplement our current income. And, we got to make the best of it. Let's see. D Rizzo, the very first item I sold on eBay was a game that sold for $600. Looking back, I'm surprised that I went fine. Didn't even leave feedback. Yeah, so you can't really worry about those things. We have Katie A007 for the refunds. Just add a credit card, refund a buyer without a hassle of contacting eBay. I was paranoid at first, but now I'm earning points and miles. But I have a credit card assigned. I have it assigned on my account, and it's just not working. So more of that user. I've got to figure out what that user is sending all kinds of junk on my account. So apologize for that. We just need to get a moderator, I think, because we're having a lot of idiots that are coming into the chat that are putting out kind of explicit stuff. So I apologize. Flipping Goody says, everyone is gated on Amazon. You need to get ungated to sell. And that's the tough part. You have to be able to convince Amazon, the powers that be, here's my invoice, and it has to fly. Sometimes I'll go in and I'll try to get ungated, and I'll be surprised that, I was ungated by a certain brand, but it's really a rarity for me. One Busy Mom says, I've used Flip for free. I think that's a software. That's the free cross-listing software. Had a lot of technical issues. I'm considering List Perfectly. I've used List Perfectly. I can tell you that it does the same stuff that Prime Lister does. Prime Lister is less expensive, and I think it's kind of cool. They have some automated features that anybody sell on Poshmark. Well, what's one of the pain points of selling on Poshmark? You have to constantly share your items. Jenna had paid like $10 a month for an app on her phone, and she was using her phone to automatically, like through the program, share the listings like once or twice a day. Well, Prime Lister, it does that for you. So I think that's kind of cool. Another great place is Darren Adams. Another great place to find wholesalers is ASD Show. I went to ASD last year and found a lot of different ideas. There's if you want to sell collectibles, jewelry, all kinds of stuff, you can get good deals that way. I just did not take advantage of the information that I had. And the one seller that was local to me that had a lot of good liquidation, for the life of me, I could not, and even Archie was there with me, could not find the information that we obtained from them, and just couldn't find them in town. I couldn't find their name. So bad on me. I was there having too much fun. Wasn't really seriously looking at that location as a serious sourcing avenue for myself. I saw some things that were interesting, but the margins were too low. And so therefore I just kind of shrugged it off, and I didn't follow up on a lot of the leads that I should have. Thomas says, now that eBay has announced live shipping, I'm curious how they do with the coding. Hopefully it's smooth, but chances are, like every patch, it'll break everything. Yeah. And that's the problem. You fix one thing with computers programming and you break something else. And they don't give us a beta to say, hey, these users, check it out. I guess they kind of did with their listing, with their lister, but they don't generally do that with site updates. Let's see what else we got here. Here's one from Cody Brew. Do you pay for your Amazon account or just pay the per item fee? You know what? I've had a seller's account. You pay $39.99 a month. I have items on there. I have probably around that about 40 items. I probably should cancel my seller's account, but I've read that if you cancel your Amazon seller's account, they penalize you in some way. I forgot exactly how, and it kind of made me stop what I was going to do. I was going to cancel it. Maybe that's just an empty threat that they were going to, like, I think you are timed out. You can't go back for, a period of time or something like that. But I just have kept my seller's account. At the end of the year, it's a write-off. You're dealing with like $400 or $500 that you're writing off as seller fees on Amazon. So it's something to consider. I do make sales once in a while, but I'm probably not doing the right thing. I probably should have per item versus paying $40 a month for a seller's account. So guys, we're kind of at the end of questions, and we're at actually an hour and 26 minutes in. So I just want to thank you guys for taking the time. We had over 70 people on average on this live stream. So awesome. Do me a favor, on the way out, hit that like button. I certainly would appreciate that. If you're watching this after the fact, please comment down below, comment to the content that you heard today. Or if you have a question, I'll be glad to answer that as well. But guys, the different changes that eBay is making, we just got to deal with it. We got to play by their game. And just know that that's just part of it. And quitting is an option, but for most of us, it's not. And it's just another sign that flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great rest of your week. I'll probably try to come out with a video tomorrow, just depending on what I get done tonight. But until next time, have a great rest of your week, everyone.